It's official. Every day is game day at Buffalo Wild Wings. Grab select domestic beers starting at $3.25. We know every day is for sports as mandated by Buffalo Wild Wings. Watch all the games with people that are here for the right reason with dozens of beers on tap and 21 different flavors of signature sauces and seasonings and a bounty of wings, shareables, burgers, and more. It's built for fans. It's home for sports. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Offers and participation vary. Please drink responsibly.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, hey, folks. I bet you were all expecting me to be on Monday, which I actually was, to tell you the truth. If you followed me on social media, you already know, of course, that I was in L.A. this last week, which was an absolutely successful venture. I was so excited to go. I have to tell you, I was a bit bummed out about the lack of lovely weather, but what are you going to do? Very successful on all fronts. But now here I am back in Wisconsin. I just want to do a heads up to everybody in reference to my show schedule as of this week. Obviously, today I'm so excited to be interviewing Casey very shortly, and I'll get to her in just a second, and that's happening now. Obviously, I take off tomorrow, and I shouldn't say obvious because you would know that, would you? So for the rest of the show schedule, let me just meander here. So that's today. I'm off tomorrow, of course, and then on Thursday at 4:30 Central Standard Time, Dr. Marshfield, who is an allergy researcher, aka specialist in the field. So we're going to be talking to her specifically about the sorts of ailments that happen around this time of year: allergies, pollen, all sorts of different things that affect people in different ways. Friday is a surprise guest, and why? Because I have 3 publicists who are basically having me wait to find out who's going to be on my show Friday. So stay tuned. Obviously, of course, you can check my social media page or go to the Sims Chat Corner page, and you should be able to see who I've got listed for this week. Quick reminder, super fast, yes, I'm still casting in LA as well as I think in New York City we're pretty well set, but in Wisconsin and LA for my film, Love's Two-Way Mirror. If you go on Facebook or you Google it, we have a website as well as on the Facebook page. Anybody from 35 to 55. Would I prefer you have acting experience? Maybe, but it's not 100% essential. I can't do a non-union actor with limited experience. You can approach me on social media on my Facebook page, or obviously direct email me at CIN4251@gmail.com. Last reminder, folks, because we're getting to the point where we're about a little over a month away from the deadline for submitting to my film festival. Art is Alive Film Festival is the name. If you go to Film Freeway, type in Art is Alive, you can go ahead and submit there. This year we're accepting web series along with shorts, features, animated films, as well as youth films. Youth films are $10, shorts and features, and any other films are $30. And, of course, once again, our screenplay competition this year for $20. And this year, as I mentioned, we're doing web series as well. So feel free to submit your heart away. Please make sure you send out the news to everybody. Again, that's Film Freeway, Art is Alive Film Festival. Otherwise, artisalivefilmfestival.yolasite.com. You can submit directly to the website or, of course, obviously on Film Freeway. And that takes place August 16th through 19th in New York City. And further, don't forget, we have a capped event, meaning that once we hit 200, no more. And that would be for the Frank Vincent. If you don't know who he is, go watch Sopranos, Goodfellas, you name it, he's been in it. Frank Vincent tribute will be going on August 18th in New York City. So please come and join us if you can. It will be a special event for a very special person. So without further ado, let's stop listening to me and start listening to Casey. She's far more important than I. Hi, Casey.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
As you can see, there's a lot going on here. I always feel like I have to do this barrage of there's just so much stuff that's going on. So I'm always like, let's cover everything in the first 5 minutes of the show, and then I can kind of be quiet and let you talk because you've got some phenomenal things going on. So first of all, thanks so much for coming to the show. I appreciate it. We're wishing good luck, obviously, to your sister because she's doing something special as we speak, correct?
Yes, she's at the JEDCO Challenge for the Jefferson Parish Economic Development Commission in New Orleans.
Oh, my God, how exciting. That's a whole lot of mouthful, isn't it? So I'm guessing that's something very important.
Yep, it's
all right, I assume it's very important.
We're hoping to win the $20,000 prize today, hopefully. We'll see.
Oh, my God. I'm so praying and crossing my fingers. We're all praying and crossing our fingers. Right now, every single person listening in should be doing this as we speak. My gosh. Well, unfortunately, Lee couldn't be with us today, but obviously I'm very blessed to have Casey in the studio here. We're going to be talking all about the app that you've put together because there's some exciting stuff going on. Now, I want to start off, most of the time we talk about when people come on my show that Casey obviously wasn't always the co-founder of an organization. You used to have a regular day job, of course, and that being an art director. Now, first of all, I want to ask if this is something that you're still doing. Are you in the creative arts still and functioning in that capacity, or does the organization now take up the bulk of your time?
Both, actually. Our organization doesn't pay the bill yet, so I am freelancing as an art director on and off, so I can take some more time on Dig. Yep.
I gotcha. And because that's such a specified and snazzy term, I might add, actually, an art director. So tell us specifically what a regular day is for you. Because I'm like, let's get in the mind of that, because I tried to draw once and I sucked really bad. So I'm like, I have absolutely no artistic ability. I can write, but I can't draw anything. So tell me a bit about what an art director does. What's your daily ins and outs?
Yeah, so I work in an ad agency. So you get matched up with a copywriter partner, and you have a team. Have you watched Mad Men?
Oh, my God. Yes. Hello. Yes.
So it's Don Draper's job. It's basically coming up with ideas for ads all day long. And then if a client buys it, my copywriter partner writes the script, and I overlook all the design and look and feel and everything. So it's a fun job, but it's pretty exhausting. Yep.
Oh, I imagine that it is. Definitely.
I do all the creative. Yeah, so I do all the creative for Dig. So I'm still, of course, doing the same exact job, but now I just get to do it for myself, so it's great.
That is super cool. That sounds like a lot of fun, as a matter of fact. And obviously, of course, I'm going to assume that because you look at things from an artistic standpoint. Do you bring some of that actual creativity to this business that you've built? Meaning, is there a creative touch from you on anything relative to the application or this entire concept?
Yep, anything and everything. So I came up with this idea a couple years ago, actually.
Okay.
And I was very lucky to get my sister and my dad on board to help me out with it. But I was dating someone who wasn't into my dog, so I had to break up the relationship. And when I did, I was like, we need a dating app that just has people who love dogs, so you never have this problem. So the idea came to me a long time ago, and we started making it July of last year, so it's almost 1 year we've been working on the app.
Right. I was just going to say, definitely. It's nice that you have that background to where you can add something different and out of the ordinary, because in New York City especially, I've noticed, and obviously you're based in New Orleans, but as you go across the board in different places, there's a lot of competition, meaning that people are always coming up with a new invention, something interesting out of the ordinary that relates to their pets and products and things. And this definitely is a niche for your market. It's very out of the ordinary. It's very unique. It has a very creative spin to it, so that's awesome. And I love the fact that your sister used to be a TV reporter, because that's where I'm headed now. Is I'm in radio and I'm headed to TV. So I was going to ask her, like, hey, what's that like? Well, we'll just pretend that she was here, and we'll be like, oh, everything TV's great and it's all fun and that's wonderful. Now,
it's intense.
In your family,
it's definitely intense.
Oh, I believe it. Most of the time, the people that I've interviewed in the past that have put together pet products have clearly owned numerous dogs, or if there's one in particular. I want you to talk about the backstory in terms of where the actual advent or the beginning of this initiated idea came from, meaning, as I understand it, when I was reading the website, of course, that one of your dates had showed up, something along those lines. So give people the backstory on originally where this concept came from.
So first off, our family, we're a very dog-friendly family. We've always had dogs in our lives. Growing up, we've always had a dog. I've never had a day without a dog, basically.
Sure.
But I did get a dog for myself when I was 24. And she just basically became my world. She comes to work with me. She goes to ad agencies every day. We only go to dog-friendly bars. I try to have her around as much as possible because she's the best. Her name is Layla. She's a little Cavapoo, Cavalier Spaniel Poodle mix. So when I was looking around in the dating world, number one, they had to love my dog. So we needed to make sure that was happening. So, but we also, for the app, you can be either a dog owner or a dog lover. So you can match with someone with or without a dog. And if your dog doesn't get along with other dogs, you can meet just a dog lover, or you can meet, in my sister's case, she met someone who was also a dog lover and they got a dog. So there's lots of options for the app.
Oh, no kidding, definitely. And, of course, obviously, because you've had dogs for a long time, we've talked about this on the show, but not quite as in-depth as I'd like. So I have a question because, of course, I own a cat, not a dog, and obviously there are differences between the two different kinds of pets. But clearly, what are some of the signs? Because most people may not be in tune with their pets as much necessarily as you might be per se. Tell folks a little bit about how you can tell when your dog is not warming up to somebody. What's those significant signs? I mean, do they just walk away? Do they make some sort of facial expression? Talk a bit about how you can sense or tell that a dog is not in tune with a person that's in your world.
You know, my dog loves everyone, so I don't know how to answer that question.
Oh, really?
She seriously is the happiest little thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sure.
Gosh.
She likes them all.
Oh, my God. Well, there you go. I guess apparently she has the world's friendliest dog. Because my guess is that they have, they have signs or they give up some kind of signal or some kind of just maybe some sign to somebody like, hey, you know what, this isn't cool, et cetera. You know what I mean? Because obviously, how else would you know if the person's actually having an issue with you or not, or that the dog is having an issue, I should say. You know what I mean? I guess
right,
I'm just wondering if there's ways that a pet owner, or in this case a dog owner, can tell that their dog is acting in such a way where you should be concerned about that person being around them.
No, I'm not quite sure for that one.
That's a good question. We'll have to Google that one, folks.
It's a good one. Yes, sorry about that.
I figured it would be, but I'm like, okay, but you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, kudos to you for having a dog that's actually that well-tempered, you know what I mean, to where they're not having issues with people and stuff. That's important, because sometimes, when your pets have issues, it's very difficult because they're not like a human. We have a problem, we say to somebody, hey, we have a problem, we have an issue, but dogs and cats can't really talk, you know what I mean? They have a language of their own,
right.
Which, I totally get. Now, the cool part is that you've developed this. As you said, it was released in February. There was over 340 people attended. I was like, oh, my God, that's amazing. So talk to me a little bit about the actual release and how it went, because I wonder what the initial reaction was for people, because I know when I saw a dog dating, literally dig dates, I was like, okay, this having to do with pets. I was a little confused myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? What's this all about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we launched right before Valentine's Day in Brooklyn. We had a huge launch event, as you said. It was 400 people plus dogs, so it was quite fun and crazy. We had vendors from different pet companies come. We had a treat bar. We had a human bar. We had a dog grooming section. We had professional photographers. We had to ask the vet booth. It was crazy. We rented out this warehouse in Brooklyn, and it was amazing. And it was full the whole time. It was great. And we got, as you can imagine, in a dating app, you need a lot of people in the same place in order for it to work. So we do these launch events city by city now, where we have vendors, we have shelters, we have adoptable dogs come. Every single event is an adoption event. So that's our main
that's so cool.
way of getting people on. And it was interesting, when we first launched the app, it was almost 85% women joined, which is a good problem to have in the dating world, but we were shocked. But since then, we've changed up our marketing to reach out to more men, and now we finally have it 50-50, which is great.
That is absolutely awesome, as a matter of fact. Now, I want to backtrack and talk about some of the major components that surround this application. Like, first of all, I know that you had done some great research, and I was unaware of this, the fact that there's an actual genuine increase in dog ownership between both genders, meaning that more and more people are owning dogs, and my guess would be, sadly, that the rate or percentage of people being single versus married has also gone up. So how much time and research did you have to devote into this project before you actually able to launch the app? Meaning, how much digging, how many factors did you have to look into that were pertinent to this product?
We did months of research. We learned that 55% of single adults are pet owners, which is great for us. And we have 70% of pet owners think their date's reaction to their pet is important, which is all the research you do before you start the app really made the app well-rounded. We have dog-friendly locations because we know people are looking for places to go with their dog. We have tips and tricks of the day because we know people who
Right.
don't know dogs as well as others want to learn how to treat a dog, and dog owners always want to learn new tricks for their dog. So we built
Of
up
course.
months of research to make sure the app worked for what the pet world really needed.
Gotcha. That's wonderful, actually. And I also noticed the other thing that was really, really cool. And I guess I never paid attention because I, of course, am a single person. I've been on a dating site before. And one of the things that I noticed is that you indicated that oftentimes it's not just kids that people are putting up. They actually post their pets on a dating profile. Is that right? Because that's shocking.
Yes.
I guess I just haven't seen that a lot.
Yes, actually, almost every guy I would swipe through on Bumble or Tinder would have at least one picture with a dog. And we didn't even know if it was their dog. It just makes them look better. So we wanted to make an app where you know if it's his dog or not, because that attracts a lot of women.
That is really, really cool. I like that. And it's ironic, like I said, because of all the years that I've been single, I've been on and off of dating sites. I guess I just never paid attention to people and their dogs. It just didn't seem very predominant. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Now, you've indicated, of course, that clearly, in case you guys didn't get this hint, the subtle hint that I mentioned before is that these two put their heads together and they're actually doing a dream of theirs together, but they also happen to be sisters. So I ask this question often when you've got husbands and wives or siblings, etc. You know, obviously sisters love one another, but I'm going to guess if you're working on a project all the time together, how's that working out for you? I'm just curious, like, is there ever a point where you're like, no, I totally don't like this, and she's totally like, I love this. Do you know what I mean? What is that dynamic like when you're working with family like that?
Well, we're actually long-distance business partners. So she's in New Orleans and I'm in New York. So
okay. I don't think I knew that.
I'm based in Brooklyn, so.
I gotcha.
Yes,
okay, there you go.
Helps. So if she's being annoying, I'll just hang up the phone. But no, we get along really well, and we push each other, and it's just we make each other better. So it's been an awesome experience for sure.
And that's cool that you're able to put your heads together and put something together that means so much to you. That's really awesome, as a matter of fact. That's very cool.
Sorry. She does all the business side. She takes care of business. I take care of everything creative. So we have our two territories that we both stay in and help each other with. So it's good.
I imagine so. And the other dynamic, of course, is, as you mentioned, because you're in New York City, that's one take, and I've been to New Orleans. And forgive me for saying this, but I don't think there's a whole lot of similarity between New Orleans and New York, obviously. So you've got two different markets that are sitting there. And so because the company is based in New Orleans, that means I'm assuming that everything is formulated and packaged, and that's your main base there. Are you planning on having a secondary base in New York so this way you both have an actual founding base in both cities, or is it just the intent of keeping it in New Orleans?
We don't have an office or anything. We both work out of our apartments, so we kind of are based in both cities. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And was it I'm guessing it was your idea as far as starting with New York as being the central focus, because I know that I'd read that and saying, okay, because I knew obviously that your launch was in New York City back in February. And so from this point forward, looking ahead, do you envision that you're going to be going and just doing statewide one after another after another after another?
Yes, we're starting at the end of this month. We're going to Orlando, Chicago, Boston. We're going everywhere this summer. Big road trip, California, doing launch events in each city.
Very, very cool. I like that. That's good to hear, as a matter of fact. Now, speaking specifically about the app, first off, I know that it's been said that this particular app that you have helps with decisions on both animal and human compatibility, obviously. So before we get into the actual app itself and what it does, first of all, have you figured out a way, or some way, I should say, to explain to your listening audience? Because when I think about this, I'm like, okay, so there's animals and humans and how they're compatible. In some generic ways, perhaps, but explain to your listening audience why you feel the dynamic of a date having a dog and how that plays in terms of relationship factors and compatibility.
Well, as you may know, as a dog owner, our dogs are our children. And for me, at least, she comes with everywhere, so I need someone who's okay with that. Non-dog people are a little off-put about your dog maybe sleeping in your bed with you or coming out to restaurants with you, whereas a dog person is like,
Right.
of course they can come sleep in the bed with us and come on the couch. So it's really important to have someone who is relaxed about it. You don't want to be stressed about what your dog is doing. You just want to be able to exist with your dog.
Oh, I agree. And obviously, of course, as you mentioned, you want an acceptance level there, meaning that this particular person has to accept that even though it's not a physical child, to you it's your baby, so to speak. So you have kind of a lot of the same responsibilities, the walking, the feeding. You know, you take a vacation, they have to go with you, that sort of stuff. So it really is a fundamental part of a fine and healthy relationship is being able to integrate both parties, I would think. You know, and obviously, of course, on the flip side of the fence, have you guys thought about how even though this app is out there, obviously humans have needs too in terms of, obviously, I've met some people, and I won't lie to you, I'm sure you have too. The entire world is the dog, though. Like, it's literally become, well, you know, I can't leave my dog. And do you know what I'm trying to say? Have you ever met those people that are, like, literally consumed by their dogs?
Yeah, of course. We meet all the dog types. It's a fun business to be in. We meet a lot of people.
Well, and the other thing, too, is just as a human has to be respectful as it relates to the needs of an animal, on the flip side of the fence, of course, there has to be time where there's human contact, where there's less focus on the animal, obviously. And I think it's that balance that's really super important, obviously. Now, before we talk about the app, I know that you are in the process of trying to partner with pet businesses or animal rescues, etc. So to anybody listening in who may be interested, tell them a little bit about what you're looking for and why it's beneficial for them to become a brand partner with you.
Well, we're always looking for event partners. We have vendors at each event that come, have a table, bring product to sample, can even sell their product. It really helps us with getting people to the event because all they need to do to get into the event is download the app and then everything is free.
Right.
So we love to give our pet owners and pet lovers who come some free stuff and learn about all these different companies. We always have a shelter at each event, come with adoptable dogs, and all of us together promote the event together. So we're not only promoting DIG, but every other pet business around, which it just becomes this huge web, and it's just an awesome experience at the event. That's also
very, very cool.
Have ad space on our app as well. We have a daily deal. So every day there's a different deal from a different pet company. So your business also gets out there. It clicks to whichever website you want it to go to, and everyone can kind of learn about you and your world.
That is so very cool. I absolutely love that idea. Plus, you're helping, obviously. Who doesn't want to help animal rescue? Because clearly we see pictures all of the time that dogs are in need, those that don't have a home, etc. And one super cool thing that's relevant to recent days, as a matter of fact, is I know you founded what's called the National Dog Moms Day, which I thought was so cool. You recently had an event at Deja Vu Food Park, and they literally came up with this National Dog Moms Day. So talk a bit about that and how successful was that event at, I love that, Deja Vu Food Park. That's like so awesome.
We had an event in New Orleans and in New York. We had about 250 people in New York as well at a dog-friendly bar called DBA. So as an art director, I come up with ideas for different brands and ads, and in the advertising world, 1 out of every 100 ideas gets made. So now that I have my own company, I was like, you know what? I never feel comfortable celebrating Mother's Day as a dog mom. It's kind of a weird work that we looked into it. We did research. There's half people say they would, half say they wouldn't. Some people are strongly against dog moms celebrating. So we decided to, actually, there's a whole Oprah article where she said dog moms included, and she got a lot of hate mail. It was very strange. But I wanted to see if other people felt the same way, so we did a little survey on our app to see, would you stay as a dog owner? And it was 80% said no. So we were like, all right, we need to create our own day for the dog moms because we're moms too. And what better day than the day before Mother's Day? So We did, and we created this petition on change.org, and we shared it through our social channels, through our business partners, and National Day Calendar made it a national holiday, which is great. It's every second Saturday of May for the rest of time.
That is so cool.
Dog Mom's Day.
That is so awesome. See how amazing
Yes.
that is? See that? I always get excited when people come up with something like that, and they're like, people are like, oh, I don't know if I should do this or whatever, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And that's so exciting. That's so cool. I think that's amazing.
You just got to do it.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes people sit around so much. I hear this all the time, too, and it drives me nuts because I go on social media all the time, and I'm like, yeah, you remember that dream you were thinking about? Oh, wait, you're still talking about it? No. Let's stop talking about it and start doing it. And that's one primary example right there. That's so cool because now it's something that's going to exist ongoing on an ongoing regular basis. It's awesome. Okay,
yeah,
so now I guess we should get to the
different companies give away
really
prizes. Yeah, it was a great day. It was probably my favorite day this year.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's awesome. And do you think at some point in time you'd integrate something like a Father's Day sort of scenario? Because obviously some people will be like, well, there's tons of guys out there that own dogs. You know what I can envision that.
Yeah, we are having a Dog Dad's Day event. We weren't able to make it a national holiday this year, but that's definitely en route for next year. We're still going to celebrate the day before Father's Day.
That's awesome. I like that. Kudos on that. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, so first of all, the first thing we want to say, of course, about the Dig Dates app is, number one, you obviously have to be an adult to use it. That means you can't be a teenager with a dog trying to find somebody. That's not going to work. So first of all, we want to point out that, yes, you have to be legal and 18 years of age. Now, second of all, let's start off by the initial process. So let's say somebody's listening today, never heard of this before, and they're like, all right, I want to try this out. Okay, let's walk through this step by step, if you wouldn't mind. Let's start off and say, okay, so first of all, we've established that they have interest. What do they do after that then, Casey?
So you can find us if you search Dig Dates on the App Store. When you download the app, you can either sign in with Facebook or with Gmail.
Okay.
And then they'll take you to a screen that says, who are you looking for? And you can choose men, women, non-binary, with or without a dog. And you can choose all of them. You can choose some of them. And then the next screen will say, are you a dog owner? Or are you a man, woman, with or without a dog? And you say you have a dog. So you say, I'm a dog owner. And then it'll say, what's your dog's name? What's your dog's picture? And then once your profile is all filled out, you'll see that there's both images of you and a little section for your dog as well on the app.
Very, very cool. That is lovely. And now, of course, they have three options, right? As you go ahead and scan through, there's either the dig, the really dig, or the pass. So they have those three primary options, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens if somebody opts and says the dig or the really dig? What happens at that point then?
So if you dig someone and they dig you back, then it moves you over to the match section where you can message each other. Within that, we also have our dog-friendly locations near you in the messaging section, so you can actually find dog-friendly locations to plan your first date idea and send it to them. It's great. It's one of our favorite features.
That's very, very cool. Well, and I imagine so, just because of the fact that you're not only coordinating a place, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but then they can go ahead and select a place that's dog-friendly where everybody can be comfortable. They can meet all at the same time. Do you find that most of your clients or people that utilize this are bringing dogs and they're all kind of collaborating all at one time, of course, and it makes the process easier, obviously. And is this something that, I realize obviously because it's an app, it's limited. So at some point, is this going to become something that will get to a wider audience somehow? You know what I'm talking about? Where you, like, you'd have a computer app somewhere where you can go to the website, do it on there? The locations list, is that what you're asking, or just in general? Yes. In general, because clearly, like, let's say, for instance, if you live under a rock, by the way, and you don't own a cell phone, for instance, is there another technique or way where they can pick up on this dating app and still be able to utilize it? We do not have that option, nor have we even thought of that option. Yeah. I'm just throwing it out there. I like to plant those seeds, like, let's think on that. Think on that. Okay, Dana, did you hear that? Think on that. Just throwing that out there. Because my feeling is like, 90% of us obviously have accessibility as it relates to an iOS app, but you never know. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Right.
Plus, too, as I understand it, you have events that go on that are sponsored by yourself. For instance, like I know upcoming next week on the 17th, you have what you call a Yappy Hour. You have to tell the folks about that. I'm like, oh, my God, how cute is that? I love these acronyms. Yappy Hour. Let's talk Yappy Hour. What goes on during Yappy Hour?
So that one is actually going to be a New Orleans event thrown by my sister, and it will just be drinks supplied by Dig if you've downloaded the app. We're partnering with one of our favorite pet companies in New Orleans called Pet Crew. They do awesome dog costumes. And it's right before one of those competition pitches that my sister is doing. So she's just trying to spread awareness and hopefully get the good word out.
Oh, no kidding. And also, I know that you're doing another launch. It looks like you're in Orlando on May 27th. You're doing a Dig Orlando launch there. Now, does that combine the both of you? And what specifically happens on the launch? Meaning, is this public? Can anybody listening in or anywhere come in? Can they attend? How do they get access to come and celebrate?
All you have to do is download the app, or if you have an Android, you can just share the app. Since we're not on Android, we'll be on Android by the end of the summer, hopefully. So any of our launch is really just a big event in the city with the pet businesses and the shelters, and it's a free event, dog-friendly, that we host. So we'll have one in Orlando the end of this month, Chicago, and Boston the next 2 months. And we're hoping to be in 25 cities by the end of this year.
Oh, my God, that is so exciting. It is. I have to tell you, that is absolutely awesome. And then, of course, because of the fact that you are dog relative, I guess my question is, because we live in a world nowadays where you've got tons of trade shows and pop-up stores, et cetera. So is it pop-up an option for you? Will we see you literally in a pop-up store in New York? Or if we go to particular trade shows, have you guys gone that gamut yet, or will you?
Yes, we're always happy to be a part of other people's events, too. We just want to spread the word as much as possible.
That is absolutely cool, as a matter of fact. And then, of course, on the app itself, is there a place where after people go and they meet, they can leave feedback and things like that? Do you get a response, or how do you find out how things are going from clientele and people that use it?
We do send out some emails to try and get some date stories. We haven't had any success with those yet, but we're growing and trying to figure out how we can collect more of those awesome Dig stories. And we're excited for the first Dig wedding, of course.
Oh, cool. Oh, my God, how cute is that? They're going to have a little Dig wedding. Oh, my God, this is so adorable. And, of course, folks, in case you may have not, and again, living under a rock, they've been on iHeart Radio, WISN, Silicon Bayou News. They've done News 4. They've done Dogcast Radio and the Doggy Diva Show. I was like, oh, my gosh, I so cannot touch the Doggy Diva Show. That's so much cooler than I am, of course. And then before I forget to ask this, for folks that have been listening in today, in terms of if they want to receive more information about how to partner with you, do they go directly to your site? Would it be easier for them to show up at an event and experience it themselves? What would you recommend?
All of the above, but you can go to digdates.com/partner to get more information.
That's absolutely cool. Look at that. All right, young lady, I'm going to now, just as a heads up, folks, which you've been listening to today, obviously, of course, the name of it is digdates.com, and in a minute we're going to go through the ways to find you. But I don't want to forget to mention this to you, Casey, as well as to your sister. About 2 hours after the show gets done, it becomes an archived episode, and what will happen is it'll end up being on a Blog Talk Radio format, and it also gets turned around and put on my YouTube channel. So I'll send you a copy of both of those. And so this way, then, anybody that couldn't listen in today, hopefully the 63,000 others will be listening, we hope. So that'll be out there. Now, I'm just going to read off the various ways that I found you, where folks can see you online, which would be, the name of the website is digdates.com. They have a Facebook page, which is the same name, as well as your Instagram, digdates, and Twitter, of course, at digdates. Have you been on YouTube, or are you on Google Plus or Pinterest, or is that a work in process? Because I didn't find that. So I just wanted to double check.
We do have YouTube, which all of our channels should be digdates, yes.
Got it. Wonderful. So they've all got the name as far as that goes. Okay, and for future reference, will you be showing in New York City? Because I come in and out all the time, and I always like to meet my show guests. Even though I don't have a dog, I'm kind of not really a dog person, but they'll like me anyway. So I'm like, okay, if people that are non-dog people, that's the big thing is, if we're non-dog people, can we still come and attend, and can we still learn more about you?
If you're not a dog person, meaning you don't like dogs at all?
Yeah, meaning if you don't own a dog, etc. Yes, definitely. If you just want to learn more about it, I'm sure people are open to come and check it out, be able to spread the word for you. Any press is good press, and any attention is good attention. And these guys are onto something very cool. But I'm going to go by what I suggested, which was definitely, remember that suggestion I gave you? Run with it. Definitely, because I think 100%. It's important that everybody who wants access should get access. And if we live in the Stone Age, that doesn't mean it should disclaim you. So let's find a way to get dig dates everywhere, not just on an app, but get it everywhere. Now Dana Humphrey's going to hate me for just saying that. Yeah, it sounds great to me too, definitely. I have had a wonderful time talking about this. I wish you nothing but great success. Please do not be a stranger, and let your sister know if you guys want to come back at any time, promote something new, an upcoming event, etc. You're welcome to come back on the platform anytime.
Thank you so much.
Oh, of course, anytime, my dear. I look forward to meeting you in person one day because I come to New York. In fact, I'll be there next week, and again in June, and again in July. So keep me in the loop, and I'll definitely stop by.
That sounds great.
All right, my dear. You have yourself a wonderful afternoon. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Tell me that she wasn't just the cutest little thing, right? And again, her name is Casey Isaacson. Both herself and Lee Isaacson are the founders of what we call the Dig Dates app. And of course, as you mentioned, they are on the following places: website, digdates.com, and the same name, of course, applies on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, which is at Dig Dates. My very deep thanks to Casey for coming in and pitch hitting today, since I know her sister wanted to be here as well. Obviously, of course, I could not forget to mention the most beautiful, the most brilliant, and the most hardworking in New York City, alongside Bridget O'Brien, of course, because we both love her so much, Dana Humphrey. I've said this a million times. I'll say it a million and one more. I couldn't possibly ask for a better publicist to work with, a better friend, and a better person to know. Dana, thank you so much once again for giving me another wonderful person to interview on my platform. You and Bridget were two of the first people I ever started with, and I never forget that, and I love you, and I miss you, and I hope I see you soon. All right, folks, that's it for me today. Please make sure that you take some time to tune in this coming Thursday, and that's at 4:30 Central Standard Time, and that's, of course, when we are interviewing Dr. Marshfield. Thanks so much to everybody listening in. Go outside, enjoy the wonderful weather. I plan on doing the same shortly with my son. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you on Thursday.
Today's sales leaders face a difficult task, selling the right products at the right time through the right channels. A new 3-day program from Harvard Business School Executive Education addresses this problem directly. Join us on the Boston campus in August for Managing Sales Teams and Distribution Channels, where you will discover strategies that can lead to the best sales performance. Learn more by clicking the banner or visiting hbs.me/sales. That's hbs.me/sales.
You work all day, then go home and make dinner. That's not fair, because making your dinner, that's our job. We don't work all day, then go home and do your job, so stop doing ours. Head into Buffalo Wild Wings for America's favorite wings, shareables, burgers, and more. Choose from 21 signature sauces and seasonings to take your dinner from mild to wild. But don't worry, we're dinner pros. If things get too wild, we've got dozens of beers on tap and a full bar to bail out your palate. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.